Have you ever noticed how most people live as if they had plenty of time? Strange, isn't it? Many believe there will always be a tomorrow waiting just around the corner. The shocking truth is that this belief is one of the greatest illusions of modern life, thinking we can postpone what truly matters. Reality hits hard when we realize that life doesn't send a warning and the clock doesn't stop just because we still have plans. Now, stop and reflect for a moment. If someone told you that you had only a few days left, what would you change today? Maybe you'd let go of excuses, finally make those long-delayed decisions, and chase after what really has value. It sounds counterintuitive, but this awareness doesn't steal your peace, it actually sets you free. Once we grasp the urgency of life, we stop living on autopilot and discover there's a way to turn every minute into purpose. Here's the promise. If life is short, then there's a quick reward for those who choose to live intentionally. The person who decides to align their days with what truly matters finds clarity, strength, and direction that most people never experience. And that's when you realize it's not just about living better, but about discovering the very meaning of being alive. Time always seems to slip through our fingers, especially now when technology speeds everything up around us. With every notification, every update flashing on the screen, it feels like the world is spinning at a pace we can't keep up with. It's like running on a treadmill that never slows down. And yet, whether we like it or not, the clock still gives everyone the same 24 hours.
It's interesting to think that even with all the modern tools designed to save time, nobody can actually stretch a day beyond what it is. There's no app capable of adding extra minutes to your mornings or your nights. What really changes is our perception, and often that rush creates the false impression that we'll never have enough. Who hasn't looked at the clock and thought, how is it already 6 o'clock? This illusion of acceleration puts us face to face with a choice. Either we keep chasing after time that never returns, or we learn to value the hours we actually have. And this is where life starts asking the tough questions. What have you been doing with your hours? Is each moment being used for what really matters? That reflection opens the door to something deeper, realizing that every single minute can carry far more weight than we imagine. When someone says they lived 70 years, it might sound like a long time, but in practice, it's only about 25,550 days. Looking closer, not all of those days can be used with energy and strength. Between childhood, sleep, sickness, the limitations of old age, and inevitable distractions, what's left is around 30 truly productive years. And that leads to the inevitable question. What are you doing with such a short interval? Those 30 productive years are like a limited check. If someone had only that amount to invest, they wouldn't waste it on things that brought no return. Life should be no different. Every minute wasted on something meaningless is like throwing coins down the drain. Picture the difference between wasting endless hours scrolling on your phone versus using that same time to learn a skill that could change your future, like mastering negotiation, or finally starting that long-postponed project.
This simple calculation changes how we see our days. Suddenly, they're not just minutes ticking by, they're capital being spent. It's like holding a wallet that keeps emptying itself, and no one knows when it'll run dry. And precisely because of this, we need to ask, if my time is limited, am I investing it wisely? That's when we realize time isn't just a personal resource, it ultimately belongs to someone greater. There's a truth that stood the test of time. Our days don't belong to us. The psalmist declared it clearly in Psalm 31:15. My times are in your hands. This reveals something powerful. No matter how much we plan, organize, or build perfect routines, there's a Lord who holds the ruler of time. It's as if we're living with a borrowed calendar, and every page we turn depends on God's care. When someone understands that their life is in His hands, they start to see each day differently. A meeting that seemed ordinary can become a moment of purpose. A simple conversation
can turn into a tool for transformation. Instead of living as if everything were just chance, this awareness brings peace. Nothing escapes the Creator's control. This doesn't cancel out personal responsibility, but it places every step within a greater perspective. And that's why the brevity of life takes on a new meaning. It's not just about running against the clock. It's about recognizing that the author of existence is the one who determines the seasons. Each moment can be embraced not as an accident, but as a God-given opportunity. And with that realization comes an urgency. If time belongs to Him, it makes no sense to postpone what needs to be decided today.
James 4:14 reminds us of a sobering truth. Life is like a vapor. Just as vapor vanishes into the air within seconds, our days disappear without warning. The person who postpones spiritual decisions assumes they'll have time tomorrow, but tomorrow isn't promised. It's only an expectation. How many people have said, "One day I'll change, one day I'll seek God," and that one day never arrived? It's strange how we rush to pay bills, close business deals, or grab sales, yet we delay what is eternal. That attitude is like seeing a fire starting in your own home and deciding you'll put it out next month. Absurd, right? But that's exactly what happens when the soul is left for later. Spiritual decisions can't be placed on the shelf of procrastination. And here's where the call becomes intense. There's no better time than now to align your heart with God. This urgency isn't a fear tactic, it's reality. If life is as brief as vapor, then waiting for the right time is self-deception. Every breath is a gift, and every gift might be the last. This awareness leads to something even deeper. It's not just about deciding, it's about fully surrendering. Many confuse spirituality with religiosity, but there's a vast difference between going to church and giving your life to Christ. Attending services, singing hymns, or memorizing verses doesn't necessarily bring transformation. It's like going to the gym every day, but never lifting a single weight. You show up, but you never change. Jesus doesn't call us to an empty routine. He calls us to a commitment that transforms from the inside out.
True surrender isn't just saying I believe, but living in line with that faith. It shows up in practical choices, forgiving those who hurt us, even when we don't feel like it, acting with integrity at work, even when no one is watching, choosing truth when lies seem easier. Transformation is revealed in those everyday decisions. Christ doesn't ask for a part of our lives. He asks for all of it. And far from being a burden, this surrender is freedom. When someone truly yields, they discover that Jesus' yoke is easy and His burden is light. He doesn't invite us to change, but to release. And that release only comes when we give Him everything, which leads to the unavoidable reflection. If Christ asks for all and time is short, why keep living as if tomorrow were guaranteed? Time runs silently, and no one can predict when the last second will strike. Status, bank accounts, or next year's plans don't matter. The truth is, tomorrow is in no one's hands. How many people left home in the morning, assuming they return at night, but never did? This uncertainty shouldn't cause fear, but awareness. Every day is a gift, not a right. This reality brings us face to face with urgent choices. If tomorrow isn't guaranteed, the right time to change, forgive, seek God, and live with purpose is today. Not next week, not when your schedule calms down. It's today, while the heart still beats and there's breath in your lungs. It's like knowing a treasure is buried in your backyard. What good is that knowledge if you never dig it up?
And here's the most provoking thought. Living as if there's always a tomorrow is wasting today. It's like leaving a wrapped gift sitting on the table without ever opening it. God's invitation is clear. Don't wait. Don't delay. Don't procrastinate. The call is to act now, because every moment could be the last. And it's in this reality that life's script closes, leading us to reflect on everything we've learned. And now, after all this, comes the question you can't ignore. What will you do with the time you still have? Will you keep living as if each day were guaranteed? Or will you decide to turn your minutes into something that truly matters? Think about it. If life is short, why waste energy on things that leave no eternal mark? You already know tomorrow isn't promised, so the decision is today. What needs to change in your routine? Who do you need to forgive? What steps do you need to take toward God's purpose for your life? These answers can't wait, because each second is a gift that may never repeat itself. So here's the challenge. Don't leave this message without taking concrete action. And if this spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and keep walking this journey with me. After all, the next message might be exactly what you need to take your next step toward transformation.